Morning, back at it today. So I got a little more progress last night before I left. I couldn't leave the shop. I just couldn't walk away from it. I didn't end up leaving until I think it was like 7:30 or something like that. I did get the turbo installed. I got the downpipe on. I just wanted to test fit. Excuse me. I wanted to test fit things to see, make sure everything, fit well, and I wanted to make sure that everything was clearance-wise was going to be there. I can hook up all the lines. I can put in all my coolant block ports. And make sure nothing's leaking, clean everything up. Like I said, I just want to do a really good job. So I want to test fit everything so that I can take it all back apart, put it back together. And because I think that, I'm not sure, I got to do a little research. I don't know as if I can drop the shell back down onto the motor with the manifold being on or not as far as clearance. So I'm going right now to actually meet up with my brother and get the step-by-step, maybe find a DIY on someone else that's done this. He's given me a link to it before, because it doesn't come with exactly any instructions, and I got it from another shop, with the water pump off, motor mounts off, thermostats off, turbos off, so I gotta have somewhat of a good starting point to at least see what part is specified for what, because that's one thing I didn't see in the kit was instructions or anything like that. I also noticed maybe I didn't see it or I overlooked it, fitting for the oil feed line. Not sure where we're going to go with on that, whether or not we're going to replace the oil cooler and go with braided lines, or what we're doing yet. But I know that motor's still on the ground, shell's on the lift, turbo downpipe, manifold, wastegates on it, so I can adjust everything, mark it for placement to hopefully leave on what I can leave on. And I think it's just going to be the turbo install from the top. I'm hoping, honestly, that'd make it really, really nice. And so I'm going to do all the oil return lines and stuff like that today. I know that I got to noticing his shifter bracket is broken, so we have to wait for that to come in. Also waiting for the motor mounts to come in, the urethane motor mounts. So hopefully I'll be able to get this to a point today where I can at least set the shell back down on top and maybe even get it back to a point where we can roll, just in case he needs the lift or whatever. So that's where I'm going, meeting up with my brother, and got my coffee, so I'll check back in with you when I get to the shop, and I'll show you what I did, and go through a couple of other different things that I missed yesterday, probably. I don't know, but I'll check back with you later. Okay, I'm here. I didn't realize that I forgot I had some plans going on today. I didn't realize I didn't have as much time as I really wanted to, but I wanted to come and at least get some lines on, get some fittings on and stuff like that. So again, this is really tough for me. Not tough, it's just going to take me a little while longer because, like I said, I got it with the turbos off, I got the water pump off, motor mount off. We're replacing the motor mounts with polyurethane mounts. Came into this issue yesterday. His shifter bracket was broken, so now I gotta wait for that to come in. But I did get the turbo all somewhat put on. I feel as though I don't, like I said, I'm obviously not going to be able to drop this back down on here with the turbo on. I'm going to try and do it with the manifold, which would be really, really nice. So what I got to do is I still got to block off one of these oil drain tubes. Got to put, I'm assuming, the water heat exchange tube or water crossover tube, whatever you want to call it, water pump, and all that stuff. So, but it's looking good. The fit is actually really, really not that bad. I'm fairly happy with it, honestly. So today I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna fit everything. I'm gonna hook it all up so I can take it back off, and then my goal is to do as much as I can, you know, in this setup that I have here. Get all the lines fit, everything, and try to make it as easy as I can, because I don't want to tie up this lift forever. So once I can drop this back down and attach the shell back to the frame, that's excuse me, that's what I'm doing. So here we are. Feel free to help out. And again, I'm just doing the videos. There's going to be steps that I forget. There's going to be, I don't know. Like I said, I've never done this before. I'm more focused on actually doing this the correct way and not videoing. But I'm trying to do a somewhat detailed breakdown. But if you guys have any input, you know, like I said, the kit I didn't see any come with any instructions as far as what piece is what, detailed. I know what these are, obviously, but you know, these things, I didn't really see much for the fitting for the oil feed. And like I said, I think we're gonna, I don't know, I might change out to braided oil cooler lines. Still got power steering, relocate, I guess. This stuff had to come off. I'm gonna relocate these. There's no room for the turbo, so I'm also gonna make him, I guess from what I've seen, everybody does like a heat tape or whatever, but I'm gonna go more than that. And I'm assuming, obviously these are way too close for my comfort, so all these wires I'm gonna relocate somewhere. We're gonna wrap the downpipe, and I'm gonna make him a heat shield instead of wrapping it, something that will actually absorb the heat instead of absorbing it on a piece of tape that's stuck to the piece of plastic you're trying to protect. And that's it. That's where we're at. So feel free to help out. Later. Okay, so I figured I was at a good spot where I could stop and show another thing that we also did. We did upgraded turbo drains on his Vargas turbos, because when they were installed at Turner, the returns on the oil lines were completely kinked, so that the flow was shit as well. So I forgot to actually mention that. And that's, you would think that that would be something that was noticed while installing the turbo, that your drain tube is kinked, right? So we bought, I think it's, who was it? I think it's the same guy that makes the upgraded PCV valve, Bet or something like that. So we got that. We got those. And the upgraded drain tubes, right? So that was another thing we did to try to rule out the smoke bullshit. So here is the new ones from the ON3. I'm going to choose to use the back one to block it, to block the rear oil drain, and use the forward one as the return for the turbo. Just because it seems to be the easiest routing so far, instead of having to go all the way over here and then down to over there where that oil is dripping into my cup, where I also spill more oil. So I've got everything somewhat pretty well tightened up and clocked. So I'm gonna put the forward one here. Oh, and this is your axle. You'll have 4 bolts, 4 13 millimeters, 2 up top, 2 down below. And it's just take them out and remove them, turn it, and your little 5 millimeter that holds in both of your tube adapters right here. There's one there, and then there's also one over there, obviously. But you won't be able to get that bolt out until you move this, because it won't screw past it. So you gotta rotate that and get it out. I fought with that for about a half hour the first time I was in here, and when I installed them. It took me about 2 minutes to take them off this time. So, okay. So I discovered that the oil drain tube fitting that they give you, and the hose that they give you, don't exactly coexist. Unless you have one of these. And a little bit of elbow grease. She fit. Hands a little burnt, but she fit. And so they send you the hose for this size, which I'm assuming is like a, I don't know, a 10, maybe a 8, who knows, but that one's probably like a 12 or 14, I don't know. I forget how the hand fitting sizes go, whatever they are. But, so that'll be something you'll have to do if you decide to go with that kit. Make sure that the fittings are the same size for the hoses. Yeah, so I'm glad I really did decide to do it this way and test fit it, because there's really not much clearance for anything. I got the oil drain tube on. I ended up using the heat tape, heat flex, whatever the fuck it is, from the old drain tubes to put on here, because everything is right close. It's right up against the exhaust. Take this off. So we can, hold that out there somewhere. I think this is the direction for the fucking dump tube, because you also have this for, I'm assuming they're calling it your heat exchange tube for the water pump. It goes in there, so room for a dump tube on the wastegate is kind of slim. So I think that that's where we're gonna go for the dump tube. But the kit comes with everything so far. I've just been taking my time and putting things in the right spot. It comes with those 2 block off. This one here. Same thing on the back side of it. Here. And then I also had noticed that the oil feed that goes onto the block doesn't come with a fitting for the oil line. But the oil feed line goes right up there. Something like that. But there's no... And I was thinking about running it down through this way. But I don't know, we'll see. I don't know. But I'm definitely glad that I chose to do it like that. But I'm still fairly impressed with the kit for the amount of clearance we got.